Right, good morning grade 12s. I hope you are all well. I know you have just recently written your theory paper, so I'm going to take you through step by step because we're going to use this in preparation now for your final theory paper. So, let's go. So let's have a look from question number one. Question number one was your multiple choice section. You'll remember this. Some of you will have had nightmares over this. Okay, but let's go through it step by step. This is going to be a series of videos, probably 2 or 3. It's going to be a little bit long, but I'm going to be going through this and just explaining everything to you so that you have a good, clear understanding, because we want you to do your absolute best. Yeah! Okay, now question number one, they mentioned a USB port is used to connect peripherals to a computer. Now remember, when we talk about peripherals, what are we talking about? We're mentioning things that are outside of the computer box. Remember your computer tower? Okay, anything outside of that that connects to it, screen, keyboard, mouse, printer, these are all peripherals, or they are what we call add-ons. Okay, if you have a limited number of USB ports on your PC, what can you use to extend that? Now they gave you the options of a hub, flash disk, extension cable, and modem. Modem is for the internet, it's got nothing to do with that. A flash disk is actually going to limit the ports, because if you've got 4 and you pop a flash drive in, you've got 3 left. So you want to use a hub. Okay, so I'm going to show you a picture of what a USB hub looks like. It should be coming up now, and you'll see that it utilizes 1 port on our PC, and it gives us, depending on the port, 2 extra, 4, sometimes 6 or even 8. Depending on the type of hub you are going to be using, but on your physical PC, it only takes up 1 port. Right, next one. Which keys do you press to open the task manager? And you should be seeing it at the bottom here. Control, Alt, and Delete. Okay, so we use that. Next one. Which one of the following combinations of spreadsheet functions will display a code in capital letters of the last 3 letters of a name? Now remember, when we used left and right, we said, what does it do? It takes characters from the left side of, let's say, for example, a name or numbers. And if we use right, we take in items or characters from the right-hand side of that particular name. So let's look at the options that they gave us. Right, so of the options, they mention here capital, upper, left, and right. We don't use capital, there's no such thing there. So we are going to use upper for uppercase and right. Okay, right. So what we are essentially saying is we're taking characters from the right hand side, and whatever we are taking, we want it in uppercase. Let's move on. The next one, what type of injury do you get from the continued use of an input device? We know that is RSI, that stands for repetitive strain injury, doing the same thing over and over and over, like many of you not studying. Yeah. It causes an injury when you see your marks. Ouch. Okay, moving on. What is an example of an e-commerce website? Now, when we talk about e-commerce, we're referring to electronic business, electronic commerce. This could be online shopping, buying from Bid or Buy or Take a Lot of these places. So they mention 4 examples. They use Spotify, eBay, iCloud, and YouTube. Okay, so they're asking which is an example of an e-commerce site. Well, let's just chat about it. Spotify, is that an e-commerce site? In other words, are we using that to buy and sell? No. Okay, iCloud, no, because with iCloud we are simply saving our data to the cloud, and this is more or less in Apple's case. And then YouTube, what are we doing? Yes, you can monetize YouTube, but you are essentially uploading videos and watching them and downloading them. So eBay is one of those where we can buy and sell, and that is our e-commerce. So that's going to be the option that we choose there. Let's move on. Malware. Now, when it comes to malware, please break it down into 2. The mal stands for malicious, Ware deals with software. So now we're talking about malicious software, harmful software, dangerous software. And examples of things like Trojans, viruses, all these different things. So they give us different sort of examples, and they say which one is not an example of malware. They've got a Trojan, which we know it is, an ad blocker, a worm, yes, it's an example of a virus, keylogger, malicious software. So your ad blocker actually prevents this malicious software. So ad blocker is not an example of malware. Next question, which one of the following devices would be used to provide an emergency supply of electricity? And they give us a few options, things like a surge protector. Now what does that do? That protects your PCs from a surge of power or electricity coming through. So for example, Eskom shuts down the power. Eskom, you beauty. Okay, so Eskom shuts it down. You leave everything on, everything plugged in, the plug's actually still on. And when that electricity comes back, there's a surge of power that comes through. Now, that can damage your multi-plugs. That can also damage your PC because there's too much power coming through. And this is why usually you'll have these multi-plugs that have surge protection on them. Whether they work properly or not is another story completely. But a surge protector is not going to do that because we want an emergency source of power. Okay? A power supply unit, no, because that gives power to our machine, our desktop machine, but it still draws power from the plug. A UPS, and there's our answer, uninterrupted power supply. So a UPS, if we're running our PC off that, or one of these inverter setups, that will allow us to run off a battery type setup. Even when the power's off, it'll only last for a short while, so it could be, depending on what you have, 15 minutes, half an hour, an hour, 2 hours. Again, it all depends on the setup, but that is what you can get. So UPS is our answer there. Next one, which one of the following is an example of secondary memory? Now, when we talk about primary and secondary memory, it's very simple. RAM, the RAM in your PC, and your hard drive space. So when we talk about primary memory, we are referring to RAM. So if a PC has 16 gigs of RAM, that's your primary memory. When a PC has 256 gigs of hard drive space, that is your secondary memory. So don't forget that. Then the last two, a reason why a webcam would not be suitable to take pictures or photos at a prestigious event such as a prize giving. Or why wouldn't you use a webcam? And that's fairly simple. The webcams don't have a very high standard of quality. Even if you get, let's say, the 1080p webcams, using them to take photos at a prize giving, not going to work. You've got to have it linked up to the PC. So you're going to be that guy walking around with the PC, trying to take pictures. Wait, hold it. Click, 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 click. No, that's not going to work at all. So the one you're looking for is low video quality. They gave us other options like face-to-face communication, nothing to do with that. High costs, webcams are not expensive. Some of them are built into the PCs and laptops. Inadequate storage also doesn't even feature. So it's low video quality. Then the last one, to print all comments and changes made in a document, the following must be enabled in the print dialog box. And they give us different options. Print selection only, only print even pages, print the markup, or scale to paper size. So if we've made changes and there's comments, we need to use option number C, which is print markup. Okay, and that grade 12 is it for the multiple choice section. In the next video, I'm going to look at matching the columns, which I see here, and then true and false. So I hope you're going to be joining me on this. I hope this is going to provide you a lot of value. Leave a like, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.